Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Good morning. Starting a little bit early today because we have news coming up in about 6 minutes. Want to see if we can get into any pre-market positions that are good. So we have definitely been continuing the uptrend overnight. We'll see what the news gives us. Got some of our levels marked off, but with news coming, you never know. Never know what you're going to get. Good morning, Mad Moxie. How's it going? Good afternoon, no diggity. I do have the session volume profile up since the overnight start. We're sitting above the value area high currently. We created a pretty solid base up here. We're kind of sitting below the high volume node. So it'd be interesting to see if we come down and maybe test point of control first, which is pretty much, I guess VWAP is above it. So if we do come test this high volume node that was created overnight, we would actually drop below VWAP. So that would be an interesting news candle actually if it drops down here really quick and maybe we can catch a long off that bounce. But we'll stay patient, see what we get. Gotta be careful with news. A lot of times what I like to do is let it happen, stay out of it for a couple minutes, and then see if it hits any significant levels, and then potentially, if it looks right, catch the reversal. Only if it makes sense, though. The news that we have coming out is initial jobless claims. So it should add some volatility for sure. Nothing like CPI or anything like that. Good morning, In Despair. Good morning, Paul. I feel like a retest is coming. At least I hope so. That was a very low volume, slow grind up all night. Not much of a pullback. So it'd be, for me at least, it would be a lot easier to trade if it came down to some support level and then we could take a good solid long off of it. If it just keeps grinding up, it's going to be a hard day to trade. The week has been good, In Despair. It's actually been a good week. I had to settle myself a little bit. Last week, I was a little bit anxious, not anxious, I guess, just a little bit impulsive with some of my trades, oversized a little bit, kind of let my emotions get the best of me. So spent some time this weekend, like, getting myself back on track. So this week has been really good, following my rules and sticking to my game plan. Green so far the first 3 days of the week. Ah, happy birthday, Mad Moxie. Are you doing anything fun to celebrate? Going out to dinner or taking the day off of work or anything? Or what are you doing? Going out this weekend, just relaxing today. Cool. All right, we have news now. Move down to the 1 minute chart to kind of see what we get. Not a huge reaction, which is kind of what I was expecting. I mean, it's initial jobless claims. It's not like it's CPI or something. But one thing I do like to do is watch this reaction at the actual news release, because often this same reaction, whether it's up or down, is also going to play in when the New York market opens. All right, heading on up. Pretty good volume on that candle. Check that out. Let's see if it maybe comes and sweeps the highs and we could take a short off of it. Just kind of a retrace of that news candle. Good morning, G-Man. All right, so Mad Moxie, for your birthday, you said that you're going out this weekend. Is it just like your family going out to dinner, something casual? Or are you talking about like a group of friends and you're like going out dancing or something fun? The reason I ask is maybe it's just me, like getting old and boring. But adult birthdays are not fun. Not as fun. I never really have like birthday parties anymore. Just maybe go out to dinner with my family. Have the kids cook me breakfast. Something simple like that. All right, so not a crazy reaction. We did have some pretty good volume on that 1 minute candle. From the overnight session, at least the London session, there's a lot of volume. Checking out that high volume node right there. So quite a bit of resistance. I could see it coming up to the top of that and maybe rejecting. And we could take a short back down to the bottom of the news candle. But it also currently is holding above that value area high, and kind of creating a strong base there. Oh, so you do celebrate birthdays. There you go. Sometimes trips, sometimes just dinner. Cool. I'm in a stage of life where like trips with just my husband are very hard to come by because I have 3 little kids and my mom lives in a completely different state. Like, we don't have family close by that we can just drop the kids off for a couple days and go on a trip. So if I wanted like an adult only trip, I would have to fly to California, drop my kids off, and then go on a trip. So we don't really do that. Keenan, if I say it right, good morning. How's it going? Yeah, it's a lot. Mad Moxie. We could always bring the kids with us, of course, but that would be more of like a road trip. Like, we're actually going on a trip this weekend to the river, which is about 4 hours away from here. We're going to be camping in our trailer for 3 or 4 days, 4 days. So we do trips like that a lot. But like flying with the whole family, with airfare being so much times 5, that doesn't happen very often. No kids allowed, adult only resorts. Love it. That's the way to go. If you have kids and you're going on vacation without them, go to an adult only resort so you don't have to deal with watching the kids. I find like when I'm without the kids and I go someplace that has kids, it makes me feel like I'm missing them. I'm like, the whole point was to get away. So if you go to an adult only resort, I could see where that would definitely be a better break. Missed out on a pre-market gold opportunity. You're saying I missed out and you caught it, or you were watching it? Oh my goodness. Did you get in on that, G-Man? Holy cow. So doesn't the gold market opens at like 8:20 Eastern, doesn't it? It's at a different time. It's not 9:30 Eastern. So that could be what it was like market open. I'll look it up real quick. I have a little cheat sheet for that. Yeah, gold opens at 8:20 Eastern. All right. So not a whole lot on that news candle. It did have a pretty bullish reaction though, so it'll be interesting to see if that also happens at New York Open. So we can watch for that. Since NQ's not moving a whole lot, let's see what we got on gold. See if it's coming up to any resistance levels. Gold's just been running. Gold and like everything's up. Crypto, the S&P, gold, everything. We're getting back towards all-time highs. So on the 4-hour chart, we are coming up to this high right here. But definitely not something you want to try to short. I'd say a pullback would be a better bet. Pullback to long. Let's set an anchored VWAP at the open. See if we can get anything there. It is coming back to the session VWAP right now, but a better pullback, in my opinion, would be, it's coming back to the New York VWAP. Coming back to the session VWAP would be better. Oh, you caught a long on gold. Very nice. Crypto left you back at the house and then went on its own holiday without you. You missed your long entry opportunity. I know we've talked about trading gold before, or not gold, crypto. Do you do like day trading scalp kind of things, or do you do more like swing trades holding over days or weeks? All right, zooming out to a little bit of a higher time frame on gold. It's kind of up out there. The real support is down here, but that's a big pullback. I don't think we'll get that. Coming down to VWAP at about 34.50 would be nice. That's a big drop though. Let's see if NQ's moving. 23,600 is kind of where it was at before. Yeah, just chopping around that level. Since I'm moving away from the gold screen, let's see. I'll set an alert down here, see if it does come down to VWAP, because that'd be a good long entry. It's still holding above that New York anchored VWAP for the gold session. I anchored it at 8:20 Eastern. Yeah, the trick with swing trading is you don't watch it, no diggity. You just set your take profit and your stop loss and leave it. And you can manage it, like look at it once a day or something and just adjust your stop loss if you need to or whatever. Or like trail your stop loss. But yeah, you don't sit there and watch it the whole time. All right, let's look at some higher time frame on NQ. You have a chart addiction, seeking help. You should look at, I don't know if you know this, but if you have an Apple phone, an iPhone, you can go in and see how much time you spend on each app. And you should look and see like what your trading view screen time is if you use that, or whatever it is, that'd be funny. I have noticed since I've gotten into trading, I spend a lot less time scrolling through like Facebook or social media or whatever, and I'm scrolling through charts. Like, what is Bitcoin at? What is Ethereum at? What's NASDAQ at? How is it reacting to the initial balance? Even if I'm not trading and I'm like purposely done trading for the day, I'll just look and see like, what's NQ doing? That's my new version of checking my notifications. So yeah, I understand the addiction. Three a.m., you gotta get some sleep. Maybe you should not sleep with your phone next to your bed. Man, we're definitely getting into that territory where there's not a whole lot of resistance overhead. Like if you look at these gray shaded levels right here, I mark off the high volume nodes on the volume profile. I don't have any up here because there really isn't much resistance. We have a little bit sticking out up here way at the top, but we're kind of at the top right now of any sort of high volume area. If it breaks above this London high, there is not much resistance until like 23,800, which you can tell, like this whole area right here, there was not a whole lot of chop, not a whole lot of trading. It just dumped from there. So if we go back up, there's not going to be much stopping us. So again, hoping that we get some sort of pullback and it's not just up only. It might be hard to trade if that's the case today. Might just have to rely on the session volume profile anchored from the Asia Open. We'll have to let Sasmit know. You'll rest when you get your bets back. G-Man, gold's coming back down. What do you think if it hits VWAP? Is that a good long opportunity? Luna Raid, what's up? Good morning, Kadir. How's it going? Interesting on this gold, you guys. How's it going, Brick? Sandai. I don't know if I've seen your name before. How's it going? Good morning, good morning. You're super famous? Well, I'm happy to meet you. Going well, Brick. Figured I'd hop on and see if we had any sort of reaction off of news, but there wasn't much. NQ kind of just continued to chop around and stay at that 600 level. So not much excitement there. No trade opportunities that I'm seeing right now. I'm watching gold though. I had that big run up at the gold open, and now we're retracing. Kind of watching this VWAP level. Might be an interesting long. Lunar Raid, you guys are coming in hot. I love it. All right, chat. Do we have any gold traders in here? Anyone watching gold right now? What do you guys think? Let's get a little volume profile anchored from the open. So session open was right here. That could be an interesting spot for a long too. If it gets back down there. Big celebrity in Dubai. Raj, for the 3,500 target, you're talking about gold? Yeah, I mean this thing is running. It opened up super strong with the gold open. I was hoping to maybe get a pullback to either the session open down here at like 34.51, or if it comes down to VWAP at 34.50. G-Man should teach us about gold, yeah. Clarity, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for the subscribe. NQ's moving again. All right, let's see what we got. Well, if we come up and sweep this London high and get a rejection, that could be a possible opportunity. Kind of nervous to short it though, just because it's, I mean, it has been a slow grind up overnight. Like that's a low volume push up. So I feel like a retrace is coming, a pullback is coming. So I don't want to long from here, but we are sitting right above value area high that we've created. We're above VWAP, so shorts make me nervous. I'd rather just wait for a reaction like at the London high level, or really I prefer a pullback if it comes down to VWAP or this point of control. That'd be a better opportunity to long it and stay with the trend. So I'll set an alert up here just so we can watch it if it comes up to that level. Still pulling back on gold. Kadir, G-Man takes really good trades in the Globex session, or like Tokyo session with gold. That's usually what he trades at night, and then he'll focus on NQ in the morning. I don't think he watches gold too much during the New York session. Gold opens up about an hour earlier, though, so there are some opportunities in the morning. So if we do get the pullback down to here, which is the gold session open, put our stop loss somewhere down here. Not a bad opportunity there. That's a pretty big rejection, though. NQ continuing that slow grind up, man. I feel like it's gonna be dangerous to short the NASDAQ this morning. I mean, if this continues, like if this is what the New York session open looks like, no pullback, slow grind up. Maybe one of those days where you just market order long and ride it until you feel like getting out. We'll see, though. We'll see what we get. What are you guys watching on the charts today? You guys looking at NQ, ES, gold, other stuff? Anything moving right now that you're watching? Mike is watching NQ. You taking any trades off of it right now? I'm tempted to take a short, honestly, just because it has this high volume area that it's not breaking above. I feel like a pullback down to here around like 23,500 would be a great opportunity. Just makes me nervous to short it because every dip gets bought up. Luna is short on ES. Nice. Yeah, Mike. That's why I'm not doing it. I'm tempted because it looks good, and it would just be a little scalp back down. But it's definitely against the trend. BTC Sui. I think last time you mentioned you were trading crypto, Sui was what you were trading, I think. Good morning, Shez. How's it going? Gold is starting to move back up a little bit. It never came down to my level that I was watching. So didn't enter that, just watching to see if it came back down to the gold session open. Coming back up to that anchored VWAP. Doing well, Shez. Gold's rejecting that anchored VWAP. Let's see if it can come back down to that session open or overnight VWAP. That'd be cool. That's what I'm watching for. ES does look a little bit more bearish than NQ does. Wasn't there something with Nvidia last night or yesterday where like they don't have to pay the tariff or something like that? I remember seeing something about it. I don't know exactly what it was, but, and really it doesn't matter. I just thought it was good news for Nvidia, which might be why NQ has just been up only all night. Well, so much for that pullback on gold. Still looking strong. Trying to trade more traditional markets. Interesting that you said you trade crypto, but you use NASDAQ and other things like that for Confluence. I haven't noticed a really strong correlation between crypto and NQ. I mean, I guess overall, like if you're looking at the long term of like a week's time frame, if one is going up, the other is going up. But in terms of like day trading, scalping, they're not exactly always the same. At least in my experience. I don't like watch it super closely. I kind of just look at my long-term crypto portfolio versus my day trading that I'm doing on NQ. And it's not that easy where if you just look at Bitcoin's up, so NQ, I'm going to go long. It doesn't work quite like that. So I'm interested to hear how you do work with the confluences on that. There is no stopping the NASDAQ right now. Thought we might hit some sort of resistance here, but it's establishing a really strong base above this value area high. Not wanting to go lower. We have the New York Open here in about 23 minutes. So lately I've been able to get into some pretty good pre-market positions that end up continuing at market open. I'm not seeing that happen necessarily today. Unless something crazy happens and it just drops all the way down to like VWAP or something and we can maybe take a long from there. But with this chop, I don't see any great positions right now. We can see how it reacts up at this high of the day. But wouldn't feel great about shorting that because when the market opens, it might just continue to pump. Slow grind up continues. Higher time frame, not a whole lot of levels that are stopping us. We have this little wick high at like 651. So that'd be an interesting spot for a liquidity grab to like retest the London high, grab that liquidity and maybe get a little rejection. That could be our spot to find a pullback entry. But from there, not much. We have the previous week's value area high sitting up at 23,700. Sky's the limit today. Not much stopping us. Like I've said a couple times, I'm hoping that we get some sort of pullback, but we've created a really good shelf. It might be hard to dump through. Although this is the overnight session, so there's not a ton of volume. Once New York opens, the volume could just overtake that and come down. We have a solid level down here at 23,500. If we get down there, I'd probably long the crap out of that thing. There's lots of confluence for that level. It's a high volume support level, which is why I have that gray shaded region. Previous week's point of control and overnight chop from the Asia session. I don't know if we'll get that though. That's over 100 points down from here. That'd be nice though. For now, we wait. Okay, that makes sense. As long as it helps give you some confidence. All right, so we had G-Man talking about how he took a gold trade last night. Anyone else take anything over London or Asia? I know some of you live over in the UK area, so may have been awake for the London session. Could have found a nice long. That was a good trend overnight. Sometimes I wake up, maybe it's just because I don't trade London much because I'm usually asleep. But sometimes I wake up and I'm like, man, I should move somewhere so I can trade that session. It just looks so clean most of the time. I'm sure part of that is hindsight's 2020. It's a lot easier to look at previous price action and say, oh, that was clean. But when you're like trading it live, it's not always that easy. Oh, you left it running overnight. Risky. I guess it's not that risky if you're able to like get into profit enough to where you can move your stop loss to break even and then just set your target, kind of like we've talked about before. That way if you get stopped out for $0 or if you hit your target, it doesn't hurt. All right, about 15 minutes until the open. It's on the 5-minute chart, so nothing super significant, but getting a little pullback. Still kind of not able to break past this high volume area. So levels on my radar are VWAP, if we get a pullback to there, and then even better is this area down here at 23,500-ish. Those would be beautiful. But I know, I'm asking for a lot. That's a 100-point drop. Don't know about that. You never know. Sellers could come in angry this morning. Gold never decided to come down. Still kind of chopping around that anchored VWAP level. I don't know if you heard me earlier, G-Man, you might have stepped away, but I'm kind of watching for a pullback. I have an alert set at the 8:20 Eastern open, which is also right in line with VWAP. So if it comes down to either of those levels, it might be a good spot for a long. I was watching that about 30 minutes ago, though, and it never came down. So now that NASDAQ's about to open, I don't know, might not be as good. NQ to the moon. Jeez. Every little dip just gets bought right back up. What do you think, you guys? Are we going to get any sort of pullback on this thing? No stopping it. Yeah, hope so. Me too. If we don't, I might not be taking a trade on it because there's not much resistance overhead. Could be a slow grind up kind of day if this is how it's going to be. Might have to just watch gold today. Jeez. See if I got my gold set up. Yep, I do. So, coming into the open on NQ, earlier I was kind of looking at the higher time frames. We do have this wick from back at the end of July a couple weeks ago at 651, 652, which is sitting right above the current London high. So that could be a possible opportunity for a liquidity grab and drop. But probably just a little scalp opportunity. I don't think this thing's going down. This looks strong. Sazmet, you're trading today? Oh, no, I think it was yesterday you had your soccer football games. Good luck to you. So talked about the overhead possible resistance at 651. I don't even want to call it resistance though, because there's not much resistance overhead. And then have a couple of ideas for pullback targets down here. We'll see what we get when the market opens. We got about 5 minutes. going to get that pullback 5 minutes before the open? If you guys are just tuning in, good morning, good morning. We did have a bullish reaction to the news release an hour ago. It wasn't much though. Didn't move the market that much. It's kind of just been a slow grind up. Maybe I'm just hoping for a pullback so we can find an entry for long, but that was a slow, like a low volume grind up. So if sellers want to show up this morning, there's definitely room for it to drop back down a little bit. So VWAP or this overnight point of control, kind of what I'm watching. Gonna stay patient today, see what we get. 3 minutes. Watching this volume down here at the bottom of my screen. I keep it small so I know it's hard for you guys to see, but lots of increased volume on that 5-minute candle. We still have almost 2 minutes left. So we could be getting our pullback right now, you guys. Dropping below this value area low, just barely. It's not closed below. We did establish a pretty strong base up here. But that could be pretty significant if we hold below this level coming into the open. Because this area right here is a pretty low volume node. So if it holds below this high volume, that could be turning into resistance and potentially come all the way down here. So watching for that. Just a potential. But things can always change when the New York session opens. Never know what you're gonna get. All right, got about 1 minute. Y'all ready? Sometimes when I feel like I'm doing a countdown for the New York session, like moving to the starting line at a track meet or something. Definitely pulling back, you guys. Let's let that initial volatility kind of play itself out. Get us a little anchored VWAP at the open. Go back to the 5-minute. So yeah, this top of the green is the value area high. We're kind of sitting and chopping around right there right now. But if we open this first 5-minute candle below it, I'm leaning towards a bigger pullback. We'll let this, like I said, this initial chop kind of play itself out. All right, got back above it. Might be another choppy day. Yeah, that's possible. So far, the open is very choppy. Well, that 5-minute candle definitely did not hold below that level. Looking strong. Guess I did not want to pull back today, huh? It's kind of just chopping around in this area. Hasn't really hit any significant areas of liquidity or anything. Like hasn't grabbed that London high and rejected, hasn't come down to VWAP. Staying in this chop. That first 5-minute candle had wicks on both sides. Staying patient, you guys. Let's see. It doesn't want to come back down to VWAP. How's everyone doing in the open so far? What are you guys watching? Yep, someone's shouting in the background. That's my kids. So far, being patient. Good job, Shez. That point of control keeps moving up. Might be coming for that London high. Let's see how it reacts at that level. Starting to hear voices in your head. Nope. That's my kids in the background. All right. Start marking off this 15-minute range. See what we get here. past that London high, not really looking like it's coming back down. That's a good observation. I like how you put it. It's led to your best and your worst trades. So, like, some of them you may have just gotten lucky on it with the pump. Like, you happen to be in the right position. But it's also led to the worst, and that can lead to tilt. I agree. So it reached that London high, not pulling back though. So that's not looking like a liquidity grab and sweep back down. Decently significant level at that 650 area though. All right, coming down. Let's see if it comes back to the opening range low or ends up coming back to VWAP. That would be interesting. Well, that was a pretty good liquidity sweep, you guys. It's coming down hard now. Coming back to that point of control, but it looks like it wants lower. We can watch for a reaction at this 15-minute opening range low level, although the 15-minute opening range is not set. I think a better play is the London liquidity grab, sweep, and come down to VWAP. I would like that more. Still coming down. Kind of chopping around that point of control level, which is typical. I mean, that's kind of where they've decided the fair value is, so it doesn't normally just dump right below it. But buyers also did not defend that level. Which makes me think we're coming lower. There she goes. All right, let's get some continuation and come down to VWAP, shall we? What's up, Joey? You too, my friend. All right, breaking below that opening range low. Watching for a reaction at VWAP here. If it doesn't hold VWAP, the next level I'm watching is in this general area. Lots of confluence for that level. Pretty big high volume node from overnight. Also a longer term high volume node. Previous week's point of control. So that's a good spot too. $1.2K each per account, so times 5? Is that what you're talking about? Or 1.2 total? You're working on making sure you're funding that 25K personal account, so there you go. All right, so far it's holding this opening range low. Could be a little fake breakout and then continuation higher, but not convincing. Waiting for a pullback to one of these levels, and I'm not going to short from here either, just because it is a little bit choppy. And I don't have a good level to put my stop loss if I short. That's one big thing I always look at is risk to reward. So if I was to enter a short there, I'd probably put my stop loss like way up there. And then potential target would be there at VWAP. That's just, I mean, that's less than a 1-to-1. That's not good for me. So waiting to see what we get. Nice. You wired the money to your personal account. That usually takes a couple days, so you might not be able to trade it until Monday. Possibly tomorrow. You might be able to trade it tomorrow. All right. Come on, VWAP. Let's go. What's going on, G-Man? So far, looks like a London high liquidity sweep coming down, sitting at the 15-minute opening range low right now, kind of chopping around. Holding so far. I don't personally want to long from here though. I'd rather have it come back to VWAP. So waiting for a reaction at VWAP, or if it drops below, watching this level down here. Staying patient. Getting a little bounce off that opening range low though. But the anchored VWAP is sitting right at point of control, so I could see that being a possible spot for a rejection. So if it comes back up here, you can look at maybe shorting down to there. Although it's looking pretty strong. Let's see, let's see. Are we going to reject from this level, or are we just continuing the pump higher? Good morning, B Frosty. It's an interesting level here. I'd love to see it pull back and go a little bit lower. If that is the extent of our pullback from the liquidity sweep, this might just be an up only kind of day. Come on, pull back. We're getting back above that point of control though. Lots of support that we created right there. Just continuing up, holding that support. Still watching this level. Starting to get a couple wicks on the top side there. Seems like it had a strong move down and it's been a slow grind up. So we might still have it drop down more. Kind of chopping right at this point of control VWAP level. It's not convincingly holding above. Oh, big day, G-Man. Yeah, stay patient. Size down, maybe, if you're not feeling super confident or you're feeling a little anxious about it. Coming back up to range high. All right, retesting that 15-minute range high. And there is that little wick on the higher time frame that I was pointing out earlier, sitting at like 651. So could possibly grab that and reject. Or just going to the moon. Getting a little wick, kind of peeking outside of the range. No stopping this thing. I was kind of wondering if this would happen, honestly, since we had that London high liquidity grab, came down, and that was the extent of our pullback. We didn't even come back down to VWAP and then moved up from there. So that made me feel like it was looking strong. Let's see if we get that continuation. Not much resistance overhead, you guys. Could be coming up to 23,700-ish. Still kind of chopping around that opening range high. Not looking like it's continuing yet. My alert for gold just went off. It did pull back to that session open. That's the initial balance low. And there she goes. Classic 15-minute opening range, breakout, retest, and go. Let's see if it comes up to 700. Well, that was interesting. Check that out, you guys. That was a pretty big rejection. Let's see if gold bounced off of that level. Nope. That was just an idea. I didn't enter that trade. Are we actually going to come down to VWAP now? Got to keep moving my target a little bit. Moving this red dot. All right, well, it closed back below the 15-minute range, kind of retesting it a little bit. Let's see if we get that continuation down. So that would be interesting because currently the initial balance low is sitting right here. And that's pretty much at VWAP. So that'd be interesting to come back down there and retest that low, which would also be retest of VWAP. Possible opportunity for a long. We do still have 30 minutes until that range is set. Just kind of playing out some ideas. This is choppy, you guys. This is not super clean for a lot of normal setups that people would take, like that 15-minute opening range breakout. That was definitely a fake out. Now it's closing back within the range, but it's not continuing lower. Very interesting. Hello from Australia. Hans, you say go short, yeah? Yep. It's looking like it. It is closing back within that range. We got a couple people from Australia. All right, guys, I'm short from 635, targeting the opening range low. I don't want to let it get too much above the 15-minute opening range high though, because then that could just mean that it's breaking out again. So I'm not going to give it very much room. Yep, that's the 15-minute opening range high right there. It's chopping around that again. All right, it's gonna tag me out, looks like. $635.75 was where I entered. Super choppy. It's hitting that point of control right now. Let's see if it can break through there. Lots of wicks, you guys. Still trying to hold above this point of control and New York VWAP area. B Frosty's done for the day. Let's go. There we go. Holding below point of control. All right. Looks like it might grab it. I'll move to break even at this point. So much bouncing around, man. B Frosty, were you making your trades on gold? Is that what you were watching? Oh man, so much up and down, you guys. This thing is crazy. Don't watch this on the 1 minute chart. Even the 2 minute chart is so up and down. It's not coming all the way back down to the range low. Still keeps chopping around. It's bouncing at the 15-minute opening range low. It's not coming down to IB low. Still rejecting VWAP and point of control. I still like my target because it's right at VWAP now. Yeah, it's weird when gold and NQ move in the same direction. I don't love that it's holding that 15-minute range low. Hopefully that's just a kind of a little bounce. Like I said, it's still rejecting VWAP and the point of control. You just gotta get some continuation down. If it doesn't hold the New York low of the day at 570, there's a low volume area where it could just dump and come all the way down to 23,500. A backtesting millionaire? Or a paper trading millionaire too. Come on, let's continue. At least get down to this range low. If it bounces from there, cool. If it doesn't, I got my eyes set on 23,500. Uh-oh, G-Man's thinking long. Why do you say that? It is holding that 15-minute low. It's kind of pinching here. Pinching between a couple levels. All right, continuing back up. Let's see, hasn't hit my stop loss yet. I'll trail my stop because if it does break above VWAP, then it looks like it's gonna hold that level. Let's see if it rejects from here. I'm adding to my position just because I can keep my risk at 0. Still got my target down at that range low. That was a pretty good rejection. Let's see if we actually get some continuation this time. Come on. I know it wants to. I know it wants to go down. Do it already. Let's go. I feel like the problem is it almost just makes too much sense. Like it almost seems too easy for it to come down to that level. Because there's too much confluence there. Does that make sense? Like when it makes too much sense and it's too easy, then it doesn't do it. Because then everybody would win. All right. It is not wanting to continue down. Is it going to happen this time? Are we going to do it? There you go, Chichmas. Way to be patient. Did you take trades at 10 a.m. Eastern? Or are you still watching for trades? Is she gonna do it? ES shorts and SPY puts. ES is weaker. Yeah, haven't looked at ES. I'm targeting initial balance low just because I'm losing patience and I want to get out of this trade. And that's VWAP, so it's a great target, but I could see it going lower. It's still holding below this anchored VWAP and point of control level, but also lots of wicks on the bottom of the 5-minute candles. It's holding that level. This trade is getting you anxious. I know, like, let's finish it already, man. I'm like, should I just close it early? Should I trail my stop? This is the kind of trade where you just like set your stop loss and your take profit and you walk away. Cause I wanna like move something and I'm just gonna mess it up. I'm just gonna close my eyes. Tell me when I hit either end of my trade. All right, I'll sit here and drink my coffee instead. Come on, let's go. So close. You know you wanna. You know you want to. Initial balance still has 6 minutes left, so this could actually go lower. I'll keep my target though. I'll keep it. I'm not gonna be greedy. I'll take it. You better do it now. Don't leave me hanging like that. Don't leave me hanging. Let's go. Let's go. W's in the chat. Woo! How long did that take? All right. When did I enter this trade? It was approximately 20 minutes. Holy cow. All right, guys. Breaking below VWAP. Looks like we might continue down to what I was talking about earlier. 500, 23,500 coming in hot. What do you guys think? So we have a couple things that I'm watching here. Value area low for this current session. Sitting right here, right where we're at right now at about 550. Let's see if that holds. Maybe get a bounce from there. Otherwise, this high volume area, point of control, all of this chop down here, down at 500-ish. Those are the next areas I'm looking for. Let's go. All right. Looking at your guys' emojis, I have goats. Thank you. I wouldn't say I'm the goat, but I appreciate it. What is that little green mummy thing? Is that a ninja? Or a mummy? Be Frosty, what is that? Oh. Maybe it's a ninja. Are you giving me a high five? Is it just a little green man giving me a high five? Maybe that's it. Oh. Don't talk to me right now, I'm too hot. You guys want me to start singing again? This girl is on fire. All right, initial balance is going to be set in about 3 minutes. Oh, looking at the 5-minute time frame so I can see our volume profile a little bit better. It's currently holding support at that value area low level. Not really looking too bouncy though, and we are closing below VWAP, so I still feel like it's coming down to 500. That's my guess. And then, honestly, if it comes down to 500, we have lots of areas for liquidity sweeps. London low, Asia low. But for now, it's holding that value area low. So let's see if we can take any trades off the initial balance. It's going to be set officially in about 1 minute. Coming back up to 15-minute range low. Let's see if it rejects VWAP and that range low, or if it's going to close back within the range and continue higher. Continuing lower. Evan, do you trade the IB kind of the same way you trade the 15-minute orb? Yes. To me, it's pretty much the same. I just feel a little bit more relaxed with the initial balance because the initial volatility of the 15-minute opening range is gone by then, at least I feel like. So I actually I take more trades off of the initial balance. But yeah, same thing. So if it holds the range, like if it bounces off the range, especially if it kind of fakes out of the range and then continues back above, that's called a failed auction. And you can target like the midpoint of the range, or if it looks really strong, you could target the other end of the range. I usually scale out though. I don't like hold my whole position for the other end of the range if I'm trying that. Or, so that would be a failed auction. Or you can do a breakout trend continuation. So if this like breaks out, comes back up and retests the bottom of the range, you could potentially take a short to go lower. So yep, I trade it the same way. All right, so the initial balance is set. We're sitting at the bottom of the range right now. I don't love the idea of taking a long right now. Couple reasons. We're below VWAP. We are sitting right at value area low, so that's one confluence for possibly taking a long from here. But we also have some more liquidity below. I'm going to be a little more patient and wait since we're sitting below VWAP still. The only real confluence I have for taking a long from here is the simple fact that it's 3 minutes after the initial balance, which is a silly reason after the initial balance is set, and the fact that it's at value area low. But that's not a big high volume node, so it's not super convincing. That was not a ton of liquidity right here that we grabbed. I'd feel more comfortable with it coming down a little bit lower. $23,480 is looking good for the day. Yep. I was eyeing that from the very beginning, market open. I like this level. There's a lot of confluence for this level. The gray shaded bar that I have, that I use the visible range volume profile on the higher time frame, like 30-minute, 1 hour time frame, and mark off the high volume nodes and use those as like higher time frame support and resistance. So that was already there from a couple days ago when I set it. And then just recently, this overnight price action, even more in this level. And then previous week's point of control, which is probably why that high volume node was there on the higher time frame. And then you have London low there, so lots of liquidity to come grab. I like that level too. That's probably another reason I'm not super quick to like take a long off of this initial balance low right here. I'm not convinced we're going higher yet. I mean, it could bounce and close above VWAP, close back within this 15-minute opening range low. That could be a sign that we're going higher. I don't believe it right now. There's a battle going on. Where are we headed? Looks like she wants lower. Do I have my initial balance line in the right spot? Yep. We had one tiny little wick outside of the range, but still stuck below VWAP. So right now for me, what I'm waiting for is if it's going to continue lower, I'll wait for it to hit somewhere around the 500 to 480 level and possibly look for a reaction for a long. Or if this is going to continue up from here, maybe a failed auction, like if it comes down and has a strong bounce off, we could take a long. Or if it continues above VWAP, reclaims the 15-minute opening range low, we could take a long from there. So that's what I'm going to be patient for right now. I got too excited about all the trading this morning, though, and forgot we're doing a giveaway today, you guys. We'll do that later when things slow down and we're not taking any more trades. But while I'm waiting for a setup, I can start getting the form ready. Let's see where we're at on likes. I'm not going to just give it to you guys for nothing. Trump duck is mine. All right, we got 26 likes. Not too bad, not too bad. 30 people watching. So there's at least 4 of you that haven't hit that like button. What are you even doing? Come on. Hey, if you guys were here and you saw my trade earlier, that $880 win, if you saw that and you didn't hit the like button, I mean, come on. All right, I'm just having fun with y'all. It's holding initial balance low, but like I said, it doesn't look like it's just gonna bounce to the moon from here. It looks like it still is deciding a little bit what it wants to do. Stuck below VWAP. I'm gonna wait for some confirmation. All right, so now there's only 27 of you watching. There were 30 earlier. Did I make someone mad by asking you to hit the like button? Oh, just kidding. I'm just talking while I'm setting up the form. All right, it looks like it is gonna hold that initial balance low. It's starting to break up a little bit. So if it holds above VWAP and starts to kind of reclaim this level a little bit, that might look good for longs. There's a little bit of confluence for it. Like I said, initial balance is set and that value area low. Some support we established from last night. We'll see. Still kind of ranging a little around VWAP. Did I hear duck race? Are you talking about a duck race? Oh, this makes me want to take a short, you guys. Rejecting the 15-minute low, getting back below VWAP, but we'd be shorting right into the initial balance low. That's what's holding me back. But I still think it's coming down to 500. G-Man, the VWAP that it's at right now, that's the session VWAP from 6 p.m. And then this light blue one is anchored from New York session. You're in a room where they're charging people $97 a month for trade help, but the trades are bad. Well, I mean, it depends on the losses. Like if they were following their plan and they just took good losses following their rules, that happens. But if they're just like taking trades, that sucks. Man, there is a battle going on right now. Whenever it decides where it wants to go, it might happen quickly. It's an interesting spot, you guys. If it holds above this VWAP and closes back above this range low, that might have been the extent of our dip for the morning. We have some decently heavy resistance here at point of control around 23,610. That's also in the region of New York anchored VWAP. So it could come up there before rejecting. I mean, if it breaks through that, value area high is up here at 650, 23,650. Could come all the way back up there. I mean, overall, this is bullish. There it goes, you guys. There she goes. We can watch this level here. Anchored VWAP and point of control. Possible short from there if we are in fact going to come down to that 500 level. If it breaks above here, then it's going back up to the range high. Well, that was an interesting rejection. Little fake out. Didn't quite come up to the level before going down. We're just gonna go down from here. Is that how it's gonna be? That was a a nice little trap for longs, you guys. I'm glad I didn't. I was kind of considering it just because it was holding value area low, holding initial balance low, starting to show like it wanted to get back above VWAP. It kind of looked like it was going to hold. And then strong rejection. So that was a decent little trap. It just couldn't go a little higher. I know. I was ready for it. My little red dot magnet didn't work. Alright, coming back down to IB low. What are we gonna do here? Continuation lower, or is it gonna hold? $23,500, put the magnet there. Yep. That's what I think too. This general area, 500 to like 488. I don't know. Still holding that IB low. Nope, you didn't miss the giveaway, Brick. I actually haven't put the form out yet. I was paying attention to price because we're getting some good movement today. Man. This is definitely a spot to be patient, you guys. I can feel myself going back and forth. I feel strong about this 500 level, but it's given some signs of trapping people for sure. Holding initial balance low again, strong buy up, looking like it wanted to get back above VWAP, and now rejecting again. So I don't want to trade this chop. Even if it breaks down below IB low, I don't think I would personally take a short from there. Just because there's lots of like wiki fake outs happening. I think I'm just going to wait for one of these levels to actually hit and then enter from there. That is my plan. More and more, though, it's looking like it wants to come down because buyers are not able to make it continue higher as of now. Anyone else waiting for the Firefly IPO to start trading? Haven't heard of that, actually. Don't know what that is. Oh, come on. This is like the trade. I'm not even in this trade, and I'm getting like anxious about this. I was in this one, and this whole chop around the 15-minute range low before it finally came down to my target. That's what I feel like we're in right now. Like it's chopping this level, it wants to break, but it's just not doing it yet. Just do it already. Just come down to 500. You know you want to. But it's gonna try to destroy a couple of accounts before it does it. Maybe I'll watch it on the 5-minute. Ooh, the 5-minute actually looks worse. Makes it look like it really wants to hold that level. Check out all those wicks. Oh, there she goes. We got 1 minute until this candle closes. Let's see if it actually closes below. That was a pretty strong drop within the last couple seconds. Is this gonna be the time that it actually goes? Let's look at the 1 minute. It doesn't look that bad on the 1 minute. That last candle, though, looked like it dropped pretty big. All right, getting below initial balance low. Also below value area low. It's just a matter of if it actually holds. Because, again, we've had lots of wicks. "20 seconds until this candle closes. Let's see how it looks." Nope. Still more wicks on the downside. Sheesh. It does not want to go down. Oh. You hate price action like this? Yeah. Happy Gilmore 2? Nope. I haven't. I feel like that would be the kind of movie that my husband would want to watch, though. He likes those kind of, like, goofy movies. All right. Finally getting a pretty strong move below initial balance. Come on, red dot magnet. So if it does hit that level, I'm not going to like immediately order in. I want to see how it reacts because this is super choppy, like indecisive movement, and I don't love it. See, there it is again. Finally had to move below initial balance, but getting bought right back up towards initial balance low. I don't like all those wicks on the downside. Which kind of makes it seem though like buyers are still in the game. This is not just a straight down heavy dump. So that gives us a clue that if it does come down to one of these strong levels, buyers could just eat this thing right up. It's not like this isn't a falling knife like what was that yesterday, a couple days ago, where it just kept going down. So today's different, in my opinion. So with all the wickiness, I'm not interested in taking a initial balance low breakout trade. I'm going to see how it reacts at 490 first. Alright, I'm going to work on this form for you guys while we're waiting for one of our levels to get hit. And while this choppy price action decides what it wants to do. Once I have the form done for the giveaway, we are doing a giveaway today if you guys didn't see that. 50K top on futures account. While I'm getting that ready, tell me if it hits 500. Oh, I just took a look. Jeez, that's what I'm talking about, you guys. Super choppy, ugly. What is going on? Big buy up, but now closing back below the range. What the heck? We do have a little bit of previous resistance there, so turning into support. Not big enough, in my opinion, my humble opinion, like to have this be the spot where we reverse. But like I said before, buyers are definitely still here. They're not giving this up easy. That's for sure. Zooming out to the 30-minute chart, that's technically like what you're supposed to watch for the initial balance trades. So the last 30-minute candle did close outside of the range, which means it should, I hate to say things like should and need and stuff like that with price because it can do whatever the heck it wants, but statistically it should go down. Again, it's just gonna blow up some accounts on the way. Now it's coming down, but not that continuation I would love to see. Still seeing those wicks on the downside, on the underside of the candle. Dump it down. Let's see, Be Frosty. Let's see if that red magnet works. It's working so far. 486. Am I asking for too much? 486? We're gonna get it? Ah. It is the way. I don't know. It's so, like, I find myself having to look away from the charts. Because if you watch every little bit of movement, it's so up and down where it just like dumps and you're like, oh, it is going down. And then it gets bought right back up. So it's hard to read, for sure. Slow way, but still the way. All right, you guys, I'm putting the link for the giveaway form in the chat. I'll give you guys some time to do it. We probably won't do it for the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, so stick around because I'll do the drawing for it later. But that way you guys can start filling it out. I'm hoping it actually comes down to this level here sometime in the near future so we can take a trade off of it together. Assuming it does decide to bounce and not just dump straight through it. I'm also putting the Discord link in the chat too. We got a good little group going in there, you guys. We just started it, maybe a week and a half ago. We've been sharing trades, sharing wins, sharing losses. Yesterday, since I wasn't able to actually live stream, I shared my trading plan, which actually worked out quite nicely. So, just kind of not trying to sell anything. I don't have a course to sell or anything like that. I'm still a somewhat newbie trader too, but just trying to create a community of people that can grow together and get payouts together, just become better traders together. So, would love to have you guys join if you want. On the 20th? You got it marked on your calendar? No, I'm sure there's something in there in the group where you can like go see when it started. A couple weeks ago, I guess. Already in, Shane. Good to have you. Alright, it's slowly making its way down to that level. Holy cow. Slow. Planning to watch the channel over the weekend, get some insight into your trading strategy. Anywhere you would recommend to start? I do have a playlist on my channel. It's Futures 101, I think is what it's called. That'd probably be a good place to start. I do share my thoughts on the 15-minute opening range strategy, the initial balance strategy, and then I have some videos in there on volume profile. So those are the main strategies that I use. And then I think I have a couple in there on like how I mark my levels over the weekend and like pre-market. So I'll mark off like Asia high, Asia low, all those. And then how I mark my support and resistance levels. So that'd probably be where I'd recommend starting, is finding that playlist that I think is called Futures 101. It's bouncing again, you guys. It just does not want to come down. This is setting all kinds of traps. So when it actually does come down to whatever level is going to be the bottom for today, this thing might get bought up aggressively. That's the feeling that I'm getting. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes with the form and also hopefully give price a chance to actually come down. And we'll do the duck race here in a little bit. I'm kind of stalling on the duck race though, hoping that we can like get in a trade. But I might just let this one go. It's starting to get later in the day too, in terms of like volatility starting to slow down, getting into that lunch hour where trades are just not as good in my experience. I try to take my trades within the first like 90 minutes to maybe 2 hours of the New York Open. And then if I want to take another trade in the afternoon, I'll come back in the afternoon. A lot of times I can take some really good trades off of the session volume profile in the afternoon. I'm gonna take this red magnet off because price ain't going back up there right now. If you guys are just tuning in and you missed it, I did put the giveaway form in the chat. Enter your info there, and here in a little bit, I'll grab everyone's name and we'll do a deck race. Come on down. After I said that, the way I said it, it made me think of The Price is Right. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Did anyone watch that show? Well, I guess I could say, does anyone watch that show? It's still around. But the original host, I don't remember his name, Bob Saget, was that his name? It's Drew Carey now, I think. It's just not the same. It's just not as good anymore. Bob Barker, there we go. I'm not good with those names. He was good. I don't know, I was also like 12 years old when I used to watch it, but that was my favorite show to watch during the summer when I was on like summer break at school, from school. It was on at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that would be, I used to get to watch 1 hour of TV every morning, and that was the show that I chose. I liked it. Your duck senses were tingling. Oh man, well, if price is not actually going to move down here and give us a level to take a trade off of, I don't want to take a trade in this choppy, gross action. We might just do our giveaway, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Like, it wants to go. It wants to. It's going to drive me crazy first, though, before it actually makes it down there. Is anyone else talking to their monitor? Like, or maybe it's not actually going to go down to that level because, like, everyone else is expecting it to. Like I was saying earlier, it just almost looks like too obvious. Like it's too easy. It's gonna bounce before that, right? Oh man. All right, maybe I should stop watching it because it's starting to annoy me. Thursdays are the day you wait for all week. Sometimes I do it Friday. I switch it up. Last week I did Thursday though. That was mostly because I wasn't trading on Friday. Yeah, big buy up. Never came down to the spot I was watching. It really never even came down to like the edge of this high volume node. Like look where I have my cursor. And if you have your eyes go across, that's a low volume spot. There's not a ton of support there. All right, guys. I'm going to step away for 1 second. When I come back, we'll do the duck race because it doesn't look like it wants to come down to my level. And I don't want to sit here and make you guys wait forever. So give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Creepy price action. Ah. I'm rigging the ducks. Yeah, that's what I was doing. All right, let me get everyone's name copied over. I still don't like this level as the spot that it bounced. I just don't think that's a strong enough area to be like the low of the day. So if it comes back up to VWAP maybe and rejects from there, ugly, ugly. I'm gonna move this over. Get everyone on there. Make sure you add NOS to my duck. We usually do a minute 30 because it's fun to watch. All right, guys. Here's the main show. This is why you guys showed up today, right? This is the real deal right here. All right. On your mark. Get set. Go! Rudolph Duck is out fast. We got a couple people coming in hot in the beginning. You guys know this race is about endurance, right? Don't use everything too soon. You gotta save some energy. We have a chef in the back. I've never seen a chef duck. Vivek, is that a bear? Or a dog? What kind of duck is that? Oh my gosh, this is too funny, you guys. We have a graduate duck. T is just looking calm, cool, and collected. We got 23 seconds left. Who's it gonna be? Oh, Lee, what happened to Lee? It's like he forgot where the finish line is. Come on. Shez coming in hot. Oh! Look at that finish, you guys. That was a textbook finish right there. You paced that. I didn't even see your name at all the entire race, and you just came from behind within the last like 10 seconds. Oh, that was great. Love it. I love seeing some of our OGs win. Oh, she cheated because she had wings. Not fair. That's funny. Your duck intermittent fasted and ran out of energy? Seriously, you forgot to carb load before the race. That was your problem. Maybe you're on the keto diet and you ran out of carb energy. Yeah, sometimes Mad Moxie, it's like, I'm gonna double check and make sure that your name was on there. I copied and pasted everyone, but yeah, but sometimes your name is just like not even, your duck just doesn't even come to race. Yeah. Good times, you guys. Good times. All right, Sheza, send me a message in Discord, and you can let me know if you want. There's 2 different 50K accounts that you can choose from. One is the 50K Elite Challenge, so that's a typical challenge where there's a $3,000 profit target with end-of-day drawdown. So you can choose that one, or they have a pro sim funded account, which is a straight to funded, sim funded account. So straight to payouts, but it's intraday trailing drawdown. So whatever you choose, send me a message. Oh my goodness, is it finally gonna come down now? Again, here's another example of it like not quite coming to a level that makes sense. Because I would have potentially taken a short if it came up to VWAP, but just short of it, right? Just shy. All right, Be Frosty, have a good one. All right, I'm gonna watch for this 490 level. If we get down here and have a strong buy up, I'm gonna try a long from there. Let's see if it's gonna give it to us. Just a little bit lower. Lots of liquidity down in this level. Yep, still dropping. Not much continuation though. Looking at the higher time frame, man, moving to the 30-minute chart. Lots of movement down on the 30-minute. All red. It did come down to 500. Is it gonna hold that level and bounce from there? Or come a little bit lower? That might have been it, you guys. That might have been the final drop. $500 is kind of a round psychological number, and I mean, it was close enough to that support level. Might be heading up from here. Now that the volume profile has developed a little bit more, we're close to the value area low. We're still a little bit below it. Well, at this point, you guys, I'll let you know kind of what I'm looking for in terms of if I take another trade. I could easily see this 500 level, like having that be the bottom where we bounce from. So if this level holds, it gets back above IB low and actually like holds above this area right here and we get signs of continuation, then I would probably take a long in this general area. I'm just kind of putting it there as an idea. But if it like shows that it's actually claiming this level and we don't continue to have these 5-minute candles reject this area, and then put my stop loss somewhere below whatever structure has developed up there, I would look for that. Or if it actually comes down to this spot that I'm watching and we have a strong buy up from there, then I would look for a long from there. I think I could be totally wrong, you guys, but the reason I'm looking for longs is just because this is not a huge sell-off kind of dump. It's not like it was the other day where it just kept going down. Like you can see all these wicks on the downside. Like buyers are trying to defend this. I don't know. Again, could be wrong, but that's my thoughts and what I'm looking for. But I think I'm gonna call it there, you guys, because I'm not seeing, it's still kind of choppy and not really convincingly hitting any levels that I'm sold on. But I had fun streaming with you guys today. I appreciate it. I will not be live tomorrow. I'm actually heading out of town with my family this weekend. So you guys have a great weekend, and I will be back on Monday. All right, guys, take care.